Good morning and welcome to today's live show. Just a quick note that the course is down in the description. If you want to dedicate yourself to some learning this weekend, I respect that. And everything is 90% off down in the links in the description for the two courses. Swing trading, which we're seeing some swing trade signals on the daily scale. Good to learn that first off. And then if you want to get really into it, take that technical indicators course only for $100. That's right, it is 90% off till the end of August. You only have a couple weeks left. Exactly a couple weeks left pretty much, so make sure to grab that if you're looking to learn this weekend. But welcome to the channel and thank you so much for clicking on my video, because today we have some stuff to go over. Looks like as of right now we're seeing just a little pop in volatility, a little drop here in the SPY. We'll have to see if a pullback is coming for a few days or if we're going to see this rug pulled, or there is still the potential to short squeeze from this area. So we will pay attention. That high PCC ratio right now, we'll see if that changes throughout the day, if people overly go to the call side or overly go to the put side. And we'll pay attention to what the dollar is doing. As you can see, the dollar is dropping off. So the dollar is dropping while the market is actually heading lower, which could hint to us that, hey, maybe there is some buying going on, at least as of right now in the morning here. So we'll pay attention to that. Seeing a few things fall off. Remember AMC and GME. AMC very, very close to curling up on the daily scale. You see that starting to head down. Remember, every Friday, AMC tries to land as close to $5 as possible. GME, this one has already curled up on the daily scale, starting to turn back down. We'll see if this 2 hour is able to cross today, because that might be a hint that this is not the overall moment for GME or AMC. We'll pay attention to it. Momentum is important when it comes to this stuff. But just paying attention to the dollar being down at the same time as the market being down, that could mean that there is some potential buying. We'll see if people go overly to the put side. They can use that in order to actually head higher. So we can maybe look at the futures market just for a quick second here, just see how that 2 hour looking like, hey, this is pretty much a 30-minute on the 2 hour. These levels are not correct by any means, so we might correct those here in a second, but usually we watch the actual market. So at this moment, we can see that, hey, the SPY's dropping down, okay? The SPY's dropping down, volatility seeing a small pop, but is that enough to actually cause more of a sell-off, more of a pullback in this great upward move? Which, if you're a trader, you kind of want that to happen, right? You want the opportunity to get back into this move, as I have taken out all of my longs in this area, kept my short position. Just seeing if we can see some kind of pop from these going forward. We'll pay attention. Good morning, though. Welcome, welcome. Let me put my headphones on, maybe get a little tunage going, see what's going on today. Hope everyone's ready for a great Friday, ready for your weekend. Hopefully you have some fun things planned, because we really should take every weekend for what it is and not take it for granted. We really should dedicate some time to family and stuff like that. I always try to push that, but if you want to dedicate yourself to some learning, those courses are down in the description. All right, guys. Looks like we have some stuff to look at today. We're seeing a couple things drop off. One thing that I was paying attention to was Palantir just a little bit. Looking at that 2 hour, that did cross with all the 30-minute divergences, so we're paying attention to it. We're seeing overall right now a pullback. Where could this pull back to? Well, I really like this low right here of about $29. If we need to pull back a little bit deeper, I would say a retest of this level down towards $27.50 to $28 would be a solid one for Palantir. That's just one that I was looking at this morning. Bitcoin did curl back down on the 2 hour. This is kind of what worried me yesterday with how the market was heading higher. Bitcoin not doing that and then giving you a similar pattern right here. We'll see if this is able to cross over and go further down into negative territory and continue that negative trend. But we'll find out. Hustler Mania, good morning. Listening in my car while driving to work. We love it. We love it. We love it. Robert, welcome. Bernie, welcome. Just Joe is here. No one's going to ask. Just Joe is here, guys. And Josh Hatley, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And we got some good stock market stuff going on today. We really do. We have some fun stuff going on. We're finally seeing volatility come slightly back in. Now the confusing part that we have to figure out in the morning here is the dollar dropping while the market so far is heading in a downward direction. Those daily expected moves for the day are going to be 557.06 to the upside and 549.08 to the downside. So not the biggest range today, which I thought was kind of interesting. Maybe this actually just holds up a little bit better. Then we see a pullback maybe next week, or this could hold up better and then end up turning right back up, getting above this level. We'll find out. For the most part, we would say, hey, a pullback here would be nice, and then see if that's able to curl up next week, maybe with some more good news. We'll find out. Thank you guys for liking and subscribing today. Really do appreciate it. Likes really do help out the channel. So I really appreciate that. As we are growing and growing and growing, it is nice to see new people come in, and that's all because of you guys. Made good profit yesterday. Awesome. Yeah, it was great that we were able to find the short squeeze. I was able to make some good profit, so I'm not trying to do anything crazy to ruin that. I want to figure out what the signals are telling me at this moment. Right now, it's just saying, hey, there is potential for a pullback, but because of that high put-call ratio, it might be brief, okay? And then we could end up squeezing to the upside, so we'll find out. We're going to look at this 30-minute chart. I think this is the important one to watch at this moment because a lot of the time in a short squeeze, you'll just see this go sideways, go a little bit down, and then just curl right back up, just like we did right here, just like we did right here. All right, and notice that we keep gapping up too, so we have to pay attention to that. This is the first difference really, like, right? One day you gap up, 2 day you gap up. Now today we're actually seeing some downward pressure, so this might be an opportunity to see if this is able to base out at any time to curl up into positive territory on this 30-minute MACD. Now, the one thing I would note is where are we at with that weekly expected move? Well, we're outside of it, so we do have a 68% chance to do this by the end of the day because that is Friday close, and we want to get back in that range maybe. Now, the other side to that is this is our 68% zone for the day. So if we do get outside of this, you actually have a 68% chance to land here. So it's going to be a slightly confusing day for those closing of the day. So we'll pay attention to that. For the most part today, we'll see if we could do a closing stream. I have family that I need to go see like right after the close, literally like 15 minutes after the close. So I don't know if I'll be available for a closing stream today, but we will see how crazy things get. Volatility finally seeing a pop, trying to go positive on the 30-minute, by the way, but does that look like anything to really yell about? Not necessarily at this moment. We shall see. I'm curious, are you holding any XRP? No, I'm not holding Ripple at this moment. I think my brother is. Thoughts on Tesla? We can go look over at Tesla for a moment. Well, Tesla going up to that weekly expected move. So technically today you do have a 68% chance to land down. If you need daily expected moves for Tesla and all the other stocks that we cover on this channel, Microsoft, Google, AMD, Nvidia, Amazon, Apple, all these stocks, even AMC and GME, we actually give you those daily expected moves down in the link of the description for Patreon. $7 a month. It's literally super cheap, and you get so much info that is so useful. If you can get good at trading, if you really if you're someone who maybe has taken one of the courses and then you want to get even a little bit better, have a little bit bigger edge, that would be where the Patreon really comes in handy. So we can give you those ranges, but for now you would say, hey, we're now, as of right now, gapping down back below that weekly expected move for Tesla. What are we looking for here? 30-minute pullback would be nice. 30-minute pulls back, right? We break through a zone, we go back down into it, and then we can see that move higher later on. Mainly what you're seeing here though is a test of the breakdown area. You can just hold it across and see we're pretty much testing that breakdown area as of right now. So this was your breakdown zone. We were saying a lot of stocks are going to go to their breakdown area. Tesla went to it. Now it's dropping off. We'll see what happens. 30-minute is still very positive, so that can just curl right back up. We'll pay attention. Are they overextended? I mean, on the... What's the weekly expected for the spiny keys? I mean, everything is like slightly overextended on the shorter time frames, but this is a short squeeze, so it can continue. We just want to see if like 2 hours are rolling over, 30 minutes are rolling over, if there's divergence or anything like that. Because this is an overexcited move, but it doesn't mean that the futures can't just base this out and then end up curling back up over the weekend or something like that. So it just tells me maybe the first thing I want to be aware of is a 30-minute pullback, because this is extremely bullish. So you notice every 30-minute pullback we go higher, 30-minute pullback we go higher, and this didn't even pull back. This is just a squeeze behavior. We gap up. Now you're finally seeing that pull down, so we'll see if that's able to make the next curl up. That will really give you a hint in the shorter time frames. If that's a little bit more dramatic and you curl over the 2 hour, that's when you can start to see a different thing. You could probably see something like this, right? Left head, right shoulder. This is what we talked about way down here. We talked about this, and now it's funny because we are there. Now, the other thing you have to be aware of is if that selling is dramatic, right, we get past those levels, you could make a higher low any time in this. If this just curls up on this MACD down here, That's if things escalate. First thing we need to watch is that 30-minute chart. So we'll mainly be on 30-minute chart today while looking at the SPY. But if that 2-hour does cross down, if that goes negative, you can see something a little more dramatic. Maybe you need to spike down, make a stronger base. But everyone talking about, hey, this could go all the way down here. And it could, right? Go test that 200 on the daily. It could. But in this area, the probabilities are that you're most likely just going to see a smaller pullback. Okay, a smaller pullback is what you're more likely to see. I'm just letting you know. It's not impossible for this to keep dropping. It's just you're most likely to see a pullback that leads you to going higher over time. You're either most likely to see a pullback or you're most likely to see this continue squeezing if people keep trying to short it. But the weekly levels are 546.41 to the upside, and you do have 519.57 to the downside. So 68% chance to do that. We'll see. Yo, Banana Sam, what up? I'll play some tunes before this market opens. Find me some tunage, you know what I'm saying? Good. All right. And just like that, Bitcoin runs back up. 2%. So as 4-hour crosses up, positivity can be there. Yeah, so it's pretty simple though, ready to react, right? We're just like, hey, this is pretty bad. 4-hour curls up, good sign. Now you have a structure for this. Look, left, head, right shoulder. Uh-oh, we might see something good. And it's good to do this because where are you doing it? Right below the breakdown area. Very, very good. So you can really just launch through that, retest, keep going. That should be fantastic. Oh, my secrets. I mean, as of right now, it looks like a pullback. Nothing about this is like, oh, this is super bearish. If you start seeing crash and things like that today, the real thing you just need to pay attention to is this is some great upward price action. Tesla's still catching up. So Tesla might be an opportunity for if it dips back into here, curls down, curls right back up. Uh-oh, we might see some good things going forward. So when you break through a zone, a lot of the time you want to retest in that zone and head higher. So we'll see if that's able to happen today. It's kind of like, are we going to pull back until the FOMC, or are we going to, you know, keep getting excited about rate cuts until the FOMC? Yeah. See, and you see all the structure forming. There's very obvious structure that can be very nice if it forms. That'd be fantastic. Because Apple does have divergence up here, so it can do a 2-hour pullback. That's why I'm like, are we going to do a 2-hour pullback until the FOMC or something like that? Where we just like kind of slowly break down, do little stutters down, and then Thursday or Wednesday or Thursday, we see this thing start to pop. Emo girl. 23.15 Bitcoin. Let's see if you did curl up on a 2-hour. I really like the 4-hour confirmation for this guy. Mara might catch a bid soon. Should've known better to fuck with someone like me. The funny thing is, too, this is the annual expected move. Very interesting if we get back up to that level. We'll find out. Just face it. We'll see. I mean, one thing you got going for you, if that PCC still remains high, the dollar is dropping right now, hinting that we could see some upside. Even with the divergence, it's starting to fail. And notice that's not curling up like a daily chart or something. It's not able to curl up just yet. A little careful going into next week, but if this can break down over time, that would be what you're mainly looking for, is the dollar to keep breaking down. Because volatility could springboard from here. A lot of people don't realize too, like, the fact that we just had volatility up at this level, and that has really, really subsided quickly, it means, like, when you do it this quickly, you can see another big reaction soon. Like, when you do see moves like this, you're actually likely to see that rebound. Like, you know how you pull back and you get the dead cat bounce, and sometimes that dead cat bounce is big? Well, think about that with volatility. You get a big dead cat bounce like this, and then that just fades. So we'll see. As of right now, the crash signal is still holding at this moment, and that 200 is getting low, 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 low. But we've been lower before. That 200 has been lower before, but it's right in an area where the last time we were down towards this area with that 200, what happened? Well, we saw a big pop in volatility, so we'll be careful. But this could just take some more time to actually play out. Yield's looking all right. Should've known better to fuck with someone like me. I think 30 minutes what you mainly pay attention to today. Yeah, you always have the opportunity to go like, see a divergence here. That would be a good sign. VIX starting to retrace at these cheap price levels for call options. It will be better to play next week's on expiry on the UVIX in order to catch the... Yeah, I think I get it. I think, you know, taking an expiry a little bit out, I would say 1 week to a month out is pretty good. We're going to see quick reactions in that, and then you'll see people maybe fly towards those options, causing the price of them to go majorly up, and then you're just like, all right, I think I see basing out signals here. Happy Friday, Maria. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Who's got a play they're really excited about today? Who's really excited about their play? Does Apple in the hourly look like a head and shoulders? Inverse. It looks like an inverse one is forming. Right, so you're looking at the hourly. I'm saying it on the 30-minute, but I think the inverse head and shoulders is forming. As far as it goes for a head and shoulders, I think you already broke that, and then you violated it. So you've already kind of unconfirmed this head and shoulders if you wanted to make one. You've kind of already violated that, in my opinion, because you came down too far. So you still want to be aware that this could be here, right? So you still want to be aware that this could be bad. There is a divergence at the high. It could be bad. What I'm more seeing is this is a very bullish move. If we wanted to reload, that's what I think would form. You know what I'm saying, Bernie? I'm still aware, like, if these things curl down, it could be bad. We still are in a... Volatility can see a big rebound, like a big dead cat bounce. Maybe we do like this, right? But I think you're more likely to do this in this scenario. I think there's still too much fear in the market for this thing to fully drop. Too many puts. God was a girl. Devil wore a t-shirt. The glove is a game, and they were kissing in the bleachers. It's like one of the only Machine Gun Kelly songs I like. Good morning, Scott. Good morning, Diana. Welcome into the channel. Thank you guys for liking as you come in. And are we ready? By the way, I know that we didn't put out a video last night, so here you go. Got to get those dailies up. If you're already on Patreon, you probably already have them on your chart. You have 557.06 to the upside, 549.08 to the downside. The interesting thing about the ranges, though, is they've really shrunk for Friday, for the spot. They've really shrunk for the SPY. They've even shrunk for the Qs a little bit. So for the Qs, again, you have those daily expected move, 479.63 to the upside, 469.21 to the downside. So it's just not the biggest move. I mean, we've seen mainly 2% ranges. Now you only have like a 1% range for the Qs. For the SPY, you have less than a 1% range. 3x move. Good luck. I'm down. Good morning, Junior. Morning, Nick. How you doing this morning? Hopefully you guys are excited to do some trading today. I'm pretty pumped. Nvidia starting to back off here as well. Remember, this is well outside of its range, but we can see maybe it just needs to collect a little bit in here, maybe touch these points in here to grab some liquidity where we built up little chunks, had some resistance, turned into support here. Just something simple like that. Boom. Something simple like that. Boom. We can break through. We'll see. I'm always worried about the weekends. I don't know why. It's like these days the weekends really worry me, so I try not to take too many plays going into the weekend. Do you feel like a man when you push her around? Do you feel better now? You falls to the ground. GME does have not the best divergences. Yeah, Jay, that's what it kind of looks like to me. That's why I'm going to be quick with this volatility play. I still want to realize that the daily has just crossed up a couple days ago. This thing is positive in positive territory. So that just tells me we're most likely in positive gamma. If we're in positive gamma, then any drop that we see, there will be buyers underneath it. And we can just see that as well. We're in a very positive trend. So 30-minute pullback could be all you get. And we don't really have news Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm pretty sure. Let me look here. Which we got the building permits. That came in at 1.396 million. A little bit low. Building permits month over month dropping by 4%. Housing starts are dropping. Housing starts month over month are negative 6.8%. Down from 1.1%. So that is a lot of slowdown in building and housing starts. Michigan consumer sentiment will come out at 9 a.m. But we look at Monday, nothing really. We got some bond auctions. We look at Tuesday, nothing really. Fed Treasury purchases, API crude oil stock exchange. And then on Wednesday, we have nothing in the morning. And then at the end of the day, we get the FOMC minutes. So we'll see. That's either going to be this. I think this is how this kind of plays out, is with that FOMC, do we pull back into that and then we see a reaction? Or do we pull back, start to head higher, and then this is all ripped away? Because if the FOMC cuts by 50 basis points, that's going to be a bad thing. That means they're reacting to something bad, and they may even tell you what that is. But if they just do what seems to be the most likely thing, they have a good percentage to cut by 25 basis points, which would cause some bullishness to come back into the market, I think. That's true, 24 Blunt. That's why I'm a little scared of the weekends these days, you know? But no news is what I overall prefer, because a lot of the time momentum will play out just regularly. Oh, I'm kind of in a good mood, guys. Uh-oh. Who let me have fun? It looks super tight. That's why I'm worried about Monday, too, because if AMC and GME start to pop off, you could actually see a rip down in the market. I might just keep my hedge. Make me, then I break my rules. XHB, let's go look at something here. The home builders. We love our home builders. And what are you doing throughout this time? Well, you're getting some kind of cup. Maybe you get that handle and then you start to head up. You just want to notice that 30-minute, pretty damn positive. So if you get this to pull back, that's fine. See if that's able to curl up. You want to treat this as bad. Then if it turns up, that'd be pretty good. Now, there is something else to look for here, and that would be a 2-hour chart. It closed above it a couple days ago. It closed above it a couple days ago. Now, if the 2-hour does curl down with this, that would be more of a sign you might need to make the stronger base. Maybe see some consolidation, right? See a little triangle. But thank you so much for the $5 short Fridays. Yes, as far as AMC goes, just so you are aware, that has not happened since 2021. This has not happened since 2021. Right, so actually on this day, you did close above it. You see this? You closed above it, all right? But now we're seeing us close above it a bunch. There's two things to look at here. This is a good and a bad sign. This is where you will see a reaction. All right, we're very, very tight in here now. So if we get above the 200, that's going to be fantastic. Look, you're above all the moving averages. But when they're this tight, what if it just goes like this? Then you would say that's all very bad, right? So you're in an area where something very, very good can happen, something very bad can happen. Most of the time, if it's not right, if they're still going to fight the stock, if they still have liquidity, then something bad will happen. So you have to be aware that this is a good sign as it is above the 200. Right when that goes below all these moving averages, that's a bad sign. But it could just sit right here. Now, GameStop, little different story, right? Opening up, able to cross up here, right, on the MACD. So that's a good sign. So this one actually able to cross up. And if you look over at AMC, look at that thing. It's trying to cross up right now. If that crosses up, you're most likely, according to your indicators, going to see an upside move. We have daily expected moves for these. GME has very low implied volatility for the day, by the way. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword. It's great right now. It can get bad very quickly. That's how I would look at it. Huh. We get more news in about 30 minutes, guys. Thank you again, Short Fridays, for the $5. There it is, popping up. Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate that. I wish all of you nothing but luck, especially on Fridays. Short Fridays has all the luck on Fridays, huh? Save chart looks nice. Ooh, okay, 30-minute curl down. So you might see a 30-minute pullback here. It's still very positive, but this is a good pullback look to it. You've really built up well here. This is a very bullish thing. Great sign, because remember all those 2-hour things going on down here that we talked about? Look at all the 2-hour things going on. Boom. You get that trigger to go up, and boom, upside. Did the daily cross? Yes, it did. Right, and you had divergence behind this as well. So a big move is here, but there will be pullback. So 30-minute pullback is what you're looking for first thing. See if that's able to curl back up. Oh no. Netflix yapping up. It did have the divergence up here. Hopefully you had a weekly range and things like that. It might not be you're wrong. It might be you're wrong right now. The timing might just be a little off, right? That could be it. Just manage. If things cross up, just manage. You're fine. What did Clove end up doing? Going higher again? Ooh. You're still hoping for at least a 30-minute pullback. The only reason I'm worried about Clove is it's extremely overbought. Daily even extremely overbought. 30-minute pullback would be a nice sign. Still, things are crossing over, so that tells us, as long as this remains crossed over, that most likely to see a pullback here, at least on the 30-minute. Serve. Oh, see, this is getting tight. A big move is coming. So you really want to pay attention to is this 30-minute going positive? If that 30-minute can go positive, you can see some great things. That's what I would say about this. It's very close to the center line again. See if that can just go up. Then that could be a good sign. Let's look at a 2-hour. 2-hour just bounced. You could go make a stronger base first, right? So I'd pay attention to that. And oh shoot, I forgot to use the restroom before I started. So I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick and I will be right back. Take a look at the SPY for you. Make sure to like, chat in there, tell us your ideas. Do you think we end this Friday back in the weekly expected move for the SPY? Yes or no? Let's go. All right, we're back. What happened? We'll have to see in about 10 minutes how that PCC does open up. I think that'll give us a nice little hint for the day. Upstart heading for a short squeeze. Let's go look at Upstart real quick. Uh-oh, that's a pullback with time. Uh-oh. It's able to hold up well here. That curls up by the center line. Yeah, good chance that if that is starting to break to the upside, you can see some upside here for Upstart. You are right to call out. There could be some kind of short squeeze happening, but you need to be aware that this has gone up for a long time. So you could just get a reaction to top Bollinger 40 and then start to drift down. Get another point of divergence here, but you are bottling up. A big move is coming. We'll see. Dollar dropping off pretty fast here. While SPY is down a little bit, so some buying happening as of right now. Good, I'm glad. I like to hear people making money. That's great. Mara starting to curl up here, probably confirming. 2-hour confirmed, so good move from Mara could be on its way. Right, as Bitcoin makes the upward move, right? Tries to curl up on this MACD, that'd be a good sign. Like this, 4-hour curls up, good structure ahead of you, could be nice. Yeah, it's like a shop. Thinking of shorting. Well, you just want to see, is there potential for a well, I would even say 2-hour pullback, right? 2-hour looking here, you got a little divergence in there, that's fine. But what's the 30-minute looking like? That's the main thing. All right, you got some divergence on the 30-minute. You have potential for a pullback, right? Daily starting to get overbought. You have potential for a pullback. First, you want to see this 30-minute, right? As it's just crossing over. That could be a bad sign for the 2-hour, but does that just curl back up? Because it could be brief, right? It could be brief. Then you want to see, okay, is the 2-hour pulling back? Now that could extend down for a little bit. It could test the breakout area. Right, here's the breakout area, right in this area. So, boom, you can come down for a test of that. Palantir on a good run to the upside, going up towards the weekly expected move as of right now. Seeing another point of divergence form here. I'm going to be interested to see because the dollar is dropping pretty dramatically here. See what that PCC opens up at. I think you probably go, that'd be nice. I had some help. Tesla seeing a nice upward move. Wow. Tesla rejecting the cross down. Interesting. No, it hasn't. Yeah, I feel you, Just Joe. It's tempting. It ain't like I can make this kind of mess all by myself. You have the divergence, you have the higher low. This looks good. 2 hour, what's going on? 2 hour crossing up, rejecting the cross down, and turning right back up. So maybe the daily's able to confirm up with this. Daily soon. Watch for that daily confirmation. Ooh, earnings though. Earnings coming right around the corner for this guy. Is that a weekly? You almost had weekly divergence. I wish there was just a tiny bit more of a drop. That'd be nice to see that momentum. But if it rejects the cross, that can be good too. Just surprised the dollar's dropping off that hard. That might be it, especially if we see the dollar down. We see the PCC go like dramatically to the put side. You know we're all the same. And everything you better on your own. See if we get a reaction from here. This is an area where we have to either break up or break down. I think a pullback is necessary. It's a strong move. Let me look at some stuff real quick. We'll get the PCC in a moment. That's what I'm kind of waiting for. Good morning, Nyson. How are you doing today? I'm doing pretty good. Bigger money is trying to sell, so the price has to move up their liquidation points. I think the bears are right, though. Well, and it's not so much. I actually think that we could. Oh, PCC is pretty high now. Dollar dropped off. See, this is what you wanted to see yesterday. Now we want that to go even lower. So now we're getting a bunch of calls. So market maker could drop the market for a moment. See if they can flip people to the put side. We'll see. It would be a 2.5% move. Doubtful to go down to the golden pocket, but I'd say a 38.2. 38.2 would make sense. Something in here. TLT trying to smoke some people to the upside here. Big move, medium, medium, small, small. It's multiple. There are multiple market makers. One of them is like Citadel. You can look up market makers pretty much. There are more than 260 firms. Okay, GameStop did just curl down on the 30-minute. AMC trying to do the same. Alrighty, we are looking at some stuff across the board here. Just can't believe the dollar dropped off this much. It's kind of crazy. 2 hour coming down, so market dropping, dollar dropping at the same time. Only thing is, there's too many calls, so maybe they drop the market for a moment. Everything here is saying rigged move to the upside soon. As of right now, we'll see if that PCC changes. Well, actually, everything except for the PCC, by the way. The PCC is low. So they need people to go back to the put side. People are over leveraged to the call side right now. 0.79. It's going to blow upwards. I think it will eventually. Once they might shoot it down for a moment, maybe even by end of day, and then we see something crazy on Monday. PCC is the put call ratio. So we saw that updated, and now people have a lot of calls. Take me outside. I'm a little too high, give it a little too much at the time of my life. Palantir, solid move. Gold, oh my goodness, gold. What the hell? Wow. Interesting from gold. It does. It's a solid move. It's just I'm thinking about playing that to the downside even. Legitimately, I'm like, damn, that's a great move. But it kind of has a lot of signals that say, hey, momentum here is dying out. Gold stocks are banging, Lex. There's gold in damn hills. But my goodness, what a move. Now you've just made another point for divergence if that fades early on today. They are getting people to go to that call side. Look at that call side really coming in. They have convinced people the market has to go higher at this moment. And the dollar's dropping. So I'm wondering too, that would have to be insiders, right? That seems dramatic enough that that has to be insiders. Unless it's institutions getting faked out as well. Maybe a little bit. See, a 2-hour pullback. Look at that. It would be nice. I think you're likely to move sideways or see a pullback at least for a few days, but we'll see. The weekend can do some crazy stuff. Tesla now to 217. Still overbought. Volatility of the volatility popping a little harder than volatility. Dollar's still dropping. AMC actually flipped to positive. Interesting. Not able to cross down just yet. GameStop is. Yeah, 32 to 35 does look like the likely area, right? Coming up into these areas too. It's going to be hard, but I think you're pretty solid looking there. And then you want to see if that can roll back down now. A very, very strong move. It's just, is there weakness here? You're at the point where it's like either you're very weak in momentum, you're going to see a reaction one way. Are we going to just break to the upside, see something crazy? Or the more likely thing is you pull back. You pull back first, right? Even if you pull back from here, that'd be great. You pull back like this on a 2 hour, you curl back up over time, and then you see that drop off. That would be a nice look. The Pfizers. Well, let's see. Monkeypox vaccines. What's going on with this? Wow, downside. All right, curled down, never, with divergence, never really curled back up. So almost did. You got a lot of nerve, don't you, baby? All right, so the 2 hour here, that was a dramatic move down. So since it was pretty fast, you might just reject from here. What I'd probably be looking at is a 1 hour chart. If that thing can curl back up, that might be a good sign for Pfizer. But it did look pretty likely on the 30-minute that we see some divergence up here. It could pull back, and then we could see some upside. Big sellers are just filling up their big sell orders. Okay. More calls. A lot of calls coming in. If only the dollar was higher. If only the dollar was higher, but we'll see. As of right now, call side is a lot of people going towards that. Well, the Dow is something you can really follow here and just see it's similar to the market. 30-minute pullback is what you want to pay attention to first, right? I still think the Dow has a good shot to test this level, but as it starts to fail there, I need to make sure that that's curling back up. Because if that's just falling flat, you could be into a 2 hour pullback. If that 2 hour pullback keeps going, that might be bad. I think you're more likely to see a 30-minute do this, then you see this not able to cross. And then we cross down around this area, and then we do something like that. I think this look would be the best. That's what I think, but I'm just paying attention to the signals. As of right now, I shouldn't look for anything more than a 30-minute pullback, according to these signals. You made me, and baby, I blame you. RKLB. Rocket Lab. Whoa, it is a Rocket Lab, that's for sure. Hey, curled up on the MACD, never curled back down. Looks great. Daily crossed up on the MACD. Man, if you decided to take a chance with it, bam, to the upside. Even if you took it on the really good signal, bam, to the upside. Good stuff going on there. Solid earnings. Qs are really pulling back, actually, just by 0.42%. We'll see if they can go down to that daily expected move, but are crossing down on this MACD in 1 minute. Joby Aviation here. One thing you probably would see soon is that 30-minute pullback, but as you have consolidated, you could break through these levels. Let's see if some bigger things are happening here. Daily hasn't curled up, so we do have potential for like a 30-minute little pullback or something. 2 hour trying to go positive. So you're mainly looking like this. 2 hour crosses down, bad sign. But if that daily is going to cross up, you most likely would see like a nice 30-minute pullback that then just curls up, right? We kind of do, whoop, that would be nice. But anytime this daily curls up, we could see some good things, maybe up towards the 200. If we go further than that, which is pretty likely, you're right below it, you start to cross above it with that closing bar, I would, target the top Bollinger is usually a good decision there, but you can always test the high, go make a new one, and this, you're still within range. I wanna get numb and forget where I'm from. Did Tesla cross up yet? Tesla's about to. Tesla's about to cross up. Wolf looking like a bear flag now. I think more, this would be a fantastic signal for Wolf. This would be the best signal possible. All the divergence is here. If that 30-minute pulls down one more time for a double bottom, you're going to get a curl up like in positive territory. That would be phenomenal. Now, looking at the 2-hour and things like that, the thing is climbing. If the 2-hour crosses, that might be a little worse. All right, you're still waiting for the strong base, but you are getting closer to positive territory. I think 30-minute is what to really pay attention. See if that can curl up at any time. A lot of calls coming in. Consumer sentiment is higher. But the dollar getting a little reaction off that, so we'll see. Big brain, big brain. What indicators do you use? RSI, relative strength index, MACD, the moving average convergence, divergence. These are both momentum indicators, so I trade based off of momentum. And then I use weekly expected moves, daily expected moves calculated by the options market. Weekly weekly expected moves are one of the most strong things you can have on your chart. The goose. Google is suffering for a bit. I wonder if that thing's caught a bid. There we go. It's suffering. Okay. So it dropped off with that news. They might get broken up, and then guess what? 30-minute curls up, and it hasn't curled down ever since. Now you're in an area where you really need to see a breakout. Are you curling up on 2 hours and things like that? You are. So this can be a solid move. You do have divergence at these lows. There can be a big move from Google going forward. We'll see. UVXY decays. I haven't used VIXY too often. You can look it up. Just type "does VIXY decay" on Google and it'll figure it out for you. You just got to figure out if it decays. You just don't want to hold it for too long. You more just want to see a good reaction, see an amount of money you like to make, and then be like, all right, I'm out. That's kind of how I treat it. Market is taking off. Well, everyone has calls, so I wouldn't say that's taking off just yet. And the dollar's starting to rise now. So people really, okay, maybe this was just people buying in before that news came out. We'll see if this can curl back up, but VIX dropping down. Dow popping back up, so maybe the Dow sees a strong move still. As of right now, the dollar's starting to head up. We'll see if that gets a bigger reaction, but the PCC is still very, very low. It always turns out better if you're not alone. I like it. It's a mama winner show up. God, I'm saying, wow. Interested to see if this starts to roll. Really, for the SPY to go even higher, you just need to break above some key levels here. I'd say this little box right here. Pretty much if you get above that, you're pretty much a shoo-in to go test something like the highs. But that's why it's like you don't necessarily want to see the market do that, because then you're very, very overbought still on everything. Now that could mean you're still short squeezing, but it just means, hey, if people are convinced to go to the call side dramatically, we can see a big drop. What's happening today? People are convinced to go to the call side pretty dramatically here. That's just a little bit worrisome. Doesn't mean anything. It still looks very bullish. Still looks bullish across the board. But it just, for me, for the market to remain healthy and go to all-time highs, I'd really like to see a pullback here. Nvidia at 123. 125 is the number here. You really close above that strong. That'd be a good sign. This is another breakdown area, a big gap area, so this will be a key level. 124 to 125. It looks like it's continuing so far, though. Let's just leave it here. Oh my god, we're gonna get another freaking boring day, and we have a small range. If this is another boring day, I'm gonna be so disappointed. Which, like, short squeezes are great. They're just a little boring, because you don't see a lot of cool price action. You just see, like, oh, gap up and slowly. Gap up and slowly. Then you're like, oh, we could pull back here. It's like, no, slowly. Slowly, my friend. Slowly. I'd like to at least move sideways. That way we can see a break. Okay, Dixie popping a little. 4 hour not able to cross down. 2 hour can curl back up. If I could do that today, that'd be awesome. That would make some sense. Yo, they spec, yo, baby. BlackRock is invested in AMC, $538 million at an average price of $25.87. Vanguard is invested in AMC for over $1 billion at an average price of $33.29. This says AMC, that's not GME, it says AMC. I don't know though. I mean, that's just a random dude on Twitter, so I don't know if I want to believe that too much. But you're out of time. These things can start to be popping. Crazy, crazy. That's true, Short Fridays. My thoughts on Nvidia are, it's a great move. We saw the base. We did fantastic with it. I would really like it to pull back here. That's my thought. I would really like to see even a 2 hour pullback. I really would. I think this would be fantastic for the stock. It would be healthy for it moving up, because if you do this, you just go bam, you have a shot that just starts to fade, right? What you want to more see is like, oh, we pull back, and then we can see that start to pop. Maybe earnings helps you out with that. Yeah, it's sketch, but like Short Fridays pointed out, it could be so they can loan out shares to help out those short sellers. They probably make a premium from loaning out those shares. We'll see, but they've lost a lot on the investment because they bought it at $25 and $33, right? So that's where you got to think, yeah, their investment is extremely down. So if they're loaning out the shares, it's just because they could lose a lot more money than making it on the loan. Oh, I get emails on loaning out shares probably 3 times a week. You the Blue Monday low near. You want a large 2-topping pizza? So slow today, Kalani. Slow up, slow up, slow up. They got to convince people to buy calls. Convince them to buy calls. The only thing throwing us for a loop is the dollar, but look at that spike in the dollar just now. No, but seeking not, it is soon to be forgotten. Now, if enough people go to the call side, we see that dollar start to spike. We could see a rug pull by end of the day, but I'm just telling you right now, options expiration today. Options expiration today. Options expiration today. Oh my gosh, that'll be so boring. Oh, $90 on Nvidia. Yo, I'm down. I think 95 was the key level for Nvidia to get down to. If it rejects from here in the correct way, we would say if that 2 hour can curl down, that's the first sign you could see something bad. We could head back down to $90. Right, you could head back down to this 95 to test. It's just the more likely scenario here based on your indicators is you just do this. That's the more likely scenario is you see, maybe it's dramatic too. Maybe it's dramatic, right? But the more likely scenario is as this is really, really up high, this can just go like that and come back up. But maybe earnings throw that for a loop too. Yeah, well, see, they can cook consumer sentiment. They can cook all those things, man. Well, actually, consumer sentiment, maybe not as much. They definitely can cook the, like, initial jobless claims data. And you can see that you can see because every single time, like even today, housing starts gets revised. Housing starts month over month gets revised. Yesterday, the what was it? CPI, I think, got revised or whatever. Or retail sales got revised last time. So it's like, yeah, we got a crazy retail sales number. That could just be a totally different number in a month. I love it. I read something on Twitter about like the market right now, and the first comment says, "Fuck it, I'm going fishing." Ah, that's good. Hi, is it good to buy Tesla? If one signal can confirm, I would say this. It's very overbought at this level, but you are seeing a daily that's trying to cross up. So this is where you can see some upside. You've broken the downtrend. Now you can see some upside, right? The 30-minute, a little bit cooked, is the 2 hour though. That's kind of important. 2 hours just starting to. So if you needed to, Tesla could make a big move like this, curl back down, get that retest. That would be the bullish case. Just watch out if this starts to reject now, turn down on the 2 hour. That would be a bad sign. This would be a bad sign. If this actually crossed over. If the 30-minute can cross down and not, you know, curl down that 2 hour and just curl back up, that'd be great. I think this is what I'm looking for here again. That way I can add some contracts to it. Dollar's starting to bounce. We'll see. It's nothing compared to what it did before. But it is starting to bounce, meaning since this previous 30-minute bar, now we've seen a change from the dollar where it's heading up. And what did the SPY do in that 30-minute bar? Well, it headed up, right? Up 0.10%. Technically, the dollar up 0.1%. Google actually doesn't look like a terrible signal. If we're going to see a continued short squeeze, then you're probably going to see Google do some crazy stuff. This is a good signal. So if we're going to see a continued short squeeze, then Google's going to pull up daily. So you're kind of looking for that to reject today if you're bearish. If you're not bearish, Google's telling you, hey, I could see some upside. But it's a little late to the party. There could be a pullback happening across the board. Somebody tell me why. The more I see my enemies, the more I feel alive. You think retail's on cloud 9? Let's do this. Not the best one. Okay, let's take a deeper res. I occupy your mind. The side is 7 RM. I could do or die. But looks like smart money not, or dumb money out. Smart money getting at the high. So now dumb money takes over. We'll see. Kamikaze crash, Sakasu. I can't find a good enough data. Dollar continuing to rise as the market rises right now. So even if we delete this out and we take the price action of the last 30 minutes, the dollar is rising while the stock market is rising. I sold. I hope you made some good profit there. Paranoid, I don't want to make it any worse. They're all gonna die, but first things first. All right, I gotta try to figure this shit out. Let's see if I can find something here. Bikes. Yeah, I think dumb money might get caught up in a thing here, and then we see a sharp pullback, and then we start to head up. That's what I think would happen. Not seeing signs of that just yet, though. So I got to see that proven in the signals here. Like a 2-hour crossing over or something. Or that dollar just keeps climbing. A lot of calls, William. A lot of calls. Main ones is still just RSI, MACD, Shiva. Something that you could learn that I use that not a ton of people use, but there's some good people that use it. Weekly ranges, so that's the purple lines and things like that. So this is what we give out on Patreon. It's $7 a month. We give you the weekly ranges for every stock we cover. And we look for this because 68% of the time you land in that range. So you are seeing a crazy 32% sign right now, but you have a 68% chance to do this by the end of the day. Now, because these daily ranges are so small, you also have a 68% chance to land here. So 68% chance to land here, 68% chance to land here. 32% chance to land like here, 32% chance to land like here. So those will help you out. If you can learn how to trade around them, I have a course for you down in the description. Both of the courses very beginner friendly. One of them is a little bit more complex, the technical indicators course for $100. But still very, very useful. Palantir now at 32.14. Man, if we get excited and we go touch this, I'm worried about that. Mara's seeing some good turn up here, which means Bitcoin. Ooh, is Bitcoin holding it though? Bitcoin not really holding it. We'll see if it can hold this 2-hour. Right now, the 4-hour has not crossed up for Bitcoin. This is so bullish. Why is Bitcoin really lagging everything? It kind of didn't lag it. It kind of led it, and now it's leading it, but it's not giving the upside anymore like the SPY is. Let's click through. Apple confirming this, but piling up right before a big resistance. Tesla started to reject off that area. Nvidia hitting that 125. Nice. Meta dropping off with a bunch of divergence. This is not a good look for Meta, actually. It's a lot of divergence there. 2-hour big 2-hour pullback could happen. Same with Microsoft. That's not a very good look. You break through, you retest, now you keep going down. We got to see if that dollar keeps climbing. It's still climbing. It's still climbing. 0.75. The volatility is still dropping off. I'm kind of scared for the weekend. I'm not holding anything long over the weekend. No gracias. I do have to hop off at 10, so I have to hop off in about 35 minutes. I'm going to try to do a live stream at the end of the day, but I do have family that I have to spend time with. So my niece and nephew, I got to see them at 3 o'clock, which is right at the close. Little duck, you little punk, you little disease. Google's solid. See if that curls up on the daily today. AMC, that's not a big breakdown. GME, that's not a big breakdown. God, you just need AMC to curl up on this daily. Look at that. Look at that. You're thinking of a Monday where this could happen. It'd be next Monday. I'll be paying close attention to AMC next Monday. Don't say this music about a band and this music stupid and foolish of you to think you can do this. You cowards can't, you never will, and you've been trying to pursue it. I took a chance, I prayed the bill, I never died for this music. Still a little bit lower. Dollar could pop at any time too. It still has the 4-hour divergence, and that thing is still confirmed, and it's really close to going positive. So I'd be a little bit worried of holding stuff over the weekend. You can still squeeze if this curls down, but it's telling you be cautious over the weekend. This is a signal I would pay attention to say, hey, I'm gonna probably make sure that I've got my water at my house and things. I don't know what's going to happen this weekend, but this is the type of signal that you see before something bad can happen. An extreme flight to cash with a 4-hour divergence. We'll see if that able to... anything can happen. It just means there's potential this weekend for something bad to happen. Doesn't mean something bad has to happen. Just means there could be a flight to cash for some reason if this starts to go positive. But pointing right at you, we're breaking everything rowdy like a classroom. Is that testing the 200 now? Ooh, about to. Lucky to your max, Johnny to my left. 30-minute pullback still the most likely scenario. Right now, pulling back with time. Great course, you got to take a look, saying Drew. And what was your favorite part, Drew? Jay wants to know. Oh, which course did you take is what he wants to know, I think. Please check KRE. Let's look at that. Look at some banks. Regional banks. Great move up so far. 2-hour crosses down, bad things. But it has the daily cross up, I'm sure it has. Ooh, it hasn't. Okay. These are the first signs of a swing trade, though, for these banks to see upside. All right, you see that curling up above the moving averages. Good strong bar there, curling up above on the RSI, waiting for the lagging indicator, but I should have gone fishing this week. That's literally the comment that I read. The MACD and RSI breakdown, awesome. Yeah, a lot of people don't understand when you hear from other YouTubers, they don't talk about the MACD and RSI, how you should really think about it, how you can really utilize it, how to understand it to be able to utilize it. That positive negative territory stuff is very important. With swing trading, the positioning of the MACD is very important. So look at the positioning of this MACD, Drew. Right, we talk about that more in the swing trading course, but the technical indicators course will tell you a lot about this. And just say, hey, if this curls up, what does that mean? Now you know what that means to a T, and you can feel pretty confident with your probabilities going forward. I love it. So thank you so much for taking that course. As of right now, still the 30-minute is pretty positive, so you could see a pullback from KRE that just does something like this, right? That's the first thing to pay attention to. Now, if that's strong and it curls over the 2 hours, something bad could be happening. Something bad. How's IWM looking? IWM heading up towards the weekly expected move. Tagged it almost, right? Tagged it pretty much right there. 30-minute here, we see that. Almost tagging that weekly expected move. Now starting to drift down. We'll see if that can pull down. Wow, PCC down to 0.74. You think people aren't bullish now? While that dollar rises at the same time? Watch out. We could still move sideways. We have expiration, then they could rip the market down on Monday, but for the most part, we'll look at this for what it's worth right now. The dollar is still down while the market is overall, I would say, flat or down, so that means more buying has happened, but since we got 30 minutes ago, dollar's been heading up at the same time. Price of the Mandalay Bay Hotel with a lead cane. High yield growth not looking too hot either. It's getting too excited to the upside. Momentum doesn't look good here. Burlington. Burlington, you got a divergence on the RSI, not necessarily the MACD at the same time. Looks like you could receive some kind of 2-hour pullback. You do have some multiple point divergence across the way here. Looking at this from the daily scale, probably a little bit better. See that? If that daily crosses down, bad shit can happen, okay? So watch out for Burlington, because that daily turns down, bad things can happen. Now that is right before earnings on my birthday. So earnings can be a 50-50 flip. We talk about that plenty. That put call, more calls. That's awesome, Scott. Congratulations to your brother. Is Tesla pulling back? Well, on the 30-minute, you want to see if this can cross. If that crosses, okay, then this daily has a little bit more time before that's going to cross up. So you might just see a minor pullback, right? Come back into the zone. Notice this too. What do we do right here? We touch the zone, boom, hat up. So if we can go a little deeper, boom, then we can see that reaction. We'll see. It still has to turn back around. So it turns down, turn right back up. You know, everything's good and we might see some upside. Taking it for what it's worth, the only thing worrying me a little bit is the dollar building back as of right now while the market heads higher. And the Dow dropping off. Dow actually dropping off, so that's a big signal there. Dow telling you I at least need a 30-minute pullback. Thank you, Lizard. Appreciate that. Because PCC is the measurement of puts and calls. So it'll tell you where most... it's measuring both, and it's showing you which direction they're leaning towards. So this is more calls than puts at this moment. If it's below... so 1-to-1 would be a perfect ratio. Most of the time the market goes up. So really... this is overexcited to the upside once you get below 0.8, in my opinion, and then more excited for downside is 0.95. So more puts would be here, more calls would be here, and right now you are at more calls. One interesting thing to always look at is like this. See how low it is? But... yeah, so we just read into this during the day. So we're just noticing people are extremely to the call side while the market remains like even or a little bit higher. And we're noticing that in the last 30 minutes, we've seen, in the last 40 minutes, we've seen the dollar popping. So take it back into the start. Okay, you have a divergence in the near price action for this. We'll see. This has been a strong move. We'll see if that's just a little pullback, you know, something like this. Still very positive. Looking at the 2-hour, that thing's screaming up. If you have more than just that little 30-minute pullback, then this 2-hour might cross, and then you might see further down like this, right? You can kind of see the structure. Whoop. This is how you'd head up. Left, head, right shoulder. That'd be great. Now, if that starts to get overly dramatic, then you're going to start to see dailies start to not confirm. You're going to start to see these reject really heavily and things like that and go negative. So 30-minute and 2-hour look like pullbacks could be happening. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it on Palantir, man. Where would it stop if it pulls back? Well, if it's just going to be a little pullback, then maybe even just a daily expected move, right? Maybe just something like this. Or if we stay flat, something like that on Monday. If it's going to pull back a little bit bigger, something down to here, right? Down to this level here. Could be this zone right in here is just important. So something like 538 would be nice. If we're going to see more than that, then I'd start to look for this level of 535, the breakout area. So it's like, are we going to form the structure here to head higher, or are we going to have to dip down lower and go to that breakout area, kind of towards maybe like a, I would say 533 area, boom. That'd be your 2-hour pullback. Your 30-minute pullback scenario is this, curls back up, just goes into this. Your 2-hour one is it needs to dip down deeper. Yeah, I don't necessarily, that would be something I'm not trying to get into even with the curl up. It's really towards the highs still while it's curling up. Tesla's more one I'd be looking for, that daily curl up. That looks better to me. So if you hold anything that decays for a while, just know that every single day that decays by a little bit. So unless that is in a big uptrend, then it's just going to decay. If you see like 2 down days in a row, well, that could just be a little 2% down, a little 2% down, and that could make the stock just go through the floor a little bit. So I like to say with anything that decays, I try not to hold it for anything more than like 2 to 5 trading days. And you manage it closely. Oh my gosh, 0.71. People getting very, very bullish here. Watch out. Dollar's still climbing. We'll see if that continues, but that is very, very bullish sentiment there. But the opposite usually happens, right? You could see a rug pull by the end of the day, but options expiration, probably not likely. Let me look at the put call, the max pain. So as long as they remain above 550, no puts get paid out. I want you to look at this. Look at this. As long as they remain above 550, the market's going to be like, okay, we're not going to pay any puts out. Now, max pain is down towards 542, but you would say 550. If they just hold it there, they make a ton of money. Oh, let's do that. 3209. As of right now, Palantir is outside of its daily expected move as well. Palantir now outside of its daily expected move. Housing, HGX. Ooh, not liking that too much. HGX not as excited at this market. That's not a great sign. Damn. That's crazy. Something's going on. Gotta keep my eye on AMC and GME. See if AMC is able to curl up. All right, what are you guys seeing out there? Spicy's always here. I like avocados and I like spicy things. Chewy, let's go look at that. We haven't looked at Chewy in a while. Oh, not liking that look too much though. A little bit dead in momentum, but still a great upward move, and it is squeezing. You would say squeezing is happening. Crossed up on a daily MACD, you're getting some positivity from that. Technically, your swing trade signal started right there. So 24.74, that should be doing pretty well. I would just be aware that the 2-hour can pull back. It's a great move. The 2-hour can pull back. We'll see what happens with that. Earnings next week. Or I'm sorry, 2 weeks. IBM? I haven't looked at IBM in a while. Ooh, trying to make the head and shoulders slanted. 2 hours curled up to the daily. This is telling you that IBM could see some upside, especially if that daily can cross up. Now, you would say maybe you're even doing a big ass cup and handle here, but for the most part, daily crosses up, you can see positivity. 30-minute though, looking like it's pulling back with time as of right now. See if that can break through. You do have some decent structure to head higher. Maybe that needs to pull back one more time, but breaks out, that'd be a good sign. I'm just a little worried with, you know, look how high up it is. But you still have to pay attention to daily is crossed down. You need that to really confirm back up. And is there a ton of upside left? Maybe, right? If this is a big structure in here, you might have big upside, but with where the market's at right now, you'd probably want to pull back. $11 to put you up 41. See, that would make sense. Down here it makes sense to pull back to. Flat today, pull back Monday. Yeah, that's kind of what I think, because it's options expiration, they just leave it flat, but we never know. We can see a little bit difference, we'll see. Dollar's still remaining higher, PCC is still pretty damn low. The way they could hurt people is get them all in the calls and then just gap the market lower next week. That would suck. Volatility not shifting to positive just yet, but also not able to turn down on the MACD. Getting really close to that 200. I mean, I don't know that specifically short Fridays. Some people say that that does happen, and I'm assuming it does. That's fine. All right, dollar just went up to 0.22 now. Damn. PCC at 0.71. If they want to hurt people the most, they send the market sideways, get them into calls, get them into calls, get them into calls, and then just shoot the market down for a pullback next week. ZLM has earnings on Monday. Earnings can be a 50-50 flip. And Diana, IBM is just like, it seems really high up. So not necessarily one that I'd look for the clearer signals. I'd probably be patient and see if there's a clearer signal. That's what I would think about with that. Starting to get a little more inverted. Yeah, VIX is dropping. So no reaction from the VIX just yet. Found a silver word. It could. You want to look at those weekly ranges next week? That's what I'm saying. Like a little 30-minute pullback, I think, could go a long way. You get a 30-minute pullback that turns back up, then the daily really starts to take over. But it might just be short-lived. I mean, it could be a fake out move, but that is a some big structure. So it's kind of like what we have here. It's a big structure. If it forms, that could be great. I'm on the run. No idea, Short Fridays. No idea. I said suddenly. Not seeing much over here. It's giving anxiety. All right, dollar now making another move up. PCC still low. SPY finally starting to show at least some red. We'll see if that's able to hold. Still 30-minute pullback, most likely scenario just yet. Nvidia starting to pull back. Nvidia, Tesla, the ones you need to pay attention to, Nvidia, Tesla, weirdly enough, Palantir. Most people in this run-up have bought Palantir. And we're rejecting from 125. I know, Google looks good though. It's like, Google looks great. Not only that, the 2 hour, Google looks fantastic. It really does. But it's just, if other things are going to experience a pullback, is Google going to run? It could. Is the daily going to curl up? It is. So this is all saying good things. It just means if I take this, though, based on how other things are looking, based on how the SPY's looking like it needs a pullback, I need to just be a little cautious with it. SPY down 0.20 at this moment. Let's at least get down to a 1% downward move before we say it's flushing. We're watching Claw United, though. We're watching. Full moon Monday for a dump. Going to watch Deadpool? I'm going to go watch Deadpool tomorrow. You know, you guys, I'm going to give you one guess what theater I'm going to watch Deadpool at tomorrow. If you guess right, if you guess what theater I'm watching at tomorrow, I'll give you a cookie. I'll give you a cookie. What'd you guys guess? Did you guess where I was going to do it? Oh, you want a cookie? You want a cookie? There you go, guys. There's a cookie for you. Oh, look, the charts go above the cookie. There's your cookie. Lizard, how dare you? Take away the cookies. Regency? Get the cookie out of here. Lizard, you don't receive a cookie. Worm. Yeah, it could just be people taking profit from the week, but it's during the retail hour. That's the only thing, is during the retail hour. We'll see if things start to shift. Once again, if that PCC starts to like dramatically increase and the dollar actually decreases again, you notice that? That could mean we're actually going to see more upside. It's very difficult to break down a short squeeze because now any dip people will buy. Now we're going AMC, fam. You think we're gonna fill this guy? Scott's so confident with this like little crash that's gonna happen. Oh, CRS, Diana. So you're finding all the ones that are very like cup, they could form a handle. So still you want to pay attention if 30 minutes start to cross up, you start to beat some of these highs. But you could be in a bigger 2-hour pullback coming, right? That look does not look pretty, right? If that 2-hour crosses over, you got to treat that like that could be very bad, right? Now, if that's able to and then curl right back up, awesome. But you want to treat this, if this curls over, like it's bad because you're closer to the center line. You might have some potential divergence between this point here. So that can roll over daily charts. What's the daily chart look like? Well, it's screaming up high. So that tells you this could reject from this area. Body bag. Yeah, SPY's not selling off by anything crazy. The only time you say, oh my god, we're selling off is if you see like 1% in an hour. In LA, where Tim Miller was the owner, he is or was the director of Deadpool. He's a complete a-hole. I bet. Sometimes people, to get shit done, they have to be kind of an asshole. Dollar crossing up now on the 30-minute, but still starting to drift back down. I'm not seeing that curl up now. Apple and Nvidia, well, you need to understand that a lot of people have bought Apple, a lot of people have bought Tesla, a lot of people have bought Nvidia. So if those start to suffer, that's what most people are buying in this big run up. And Palantir as well. So if these things start to roll over, you have to pay attention in those specific stocks. So as far as it goes for Apple, we've hit our 225.84 level. Now if we want the structure to head higher, to be healthy, okay, do something like that. That'd be fantastic. But if this 2-hour does curl over, we could say, hey, 2-hour pullback, it might be a little dramatic, right? We could see if that turns back up. If that keeps going, though, you start to really roll down and go negative, that's where you got to be a little bit more worried. For Nvidia, you have a similar thing, right? If that 2-hour rolls over, it might be a little bit more dramatic, right? But if you can just get a 30-minute to pull down to that center line, curl back up, you might see that positivity. Earnings are coming up. GME is forming the kitty symbol. Yeah, it's just the timing of when, Scott. I'm not saying it can't hit higher levels. I'm just saying it looks like pullback for a lot of things would be nice. You're bullshit. You expect to make me fun. Traded each day this week. Great each day this week. Hey, that's awesome if that's what you said. I can't read it because of the heart, but there we go. Green each day this week. Nice. Yeah, Scott, I think we're not disagreeing. We're just like, you're thinking like, yeah, investment, and I get that. Because if you probably look at Palantir, we go over here, we look on the monthly scale, it's probably still turned up. Let's look at it from an investment standpoint. Well, that thing's going bullish, right? Let's look at it from a weekly standpoint. Do we see any signals here? The only thing worrisome for Palantir now is it does have weekly divergence. So when you say Palantir could hit 75, well, what if it goes through something awful, and then at these lower levels, it starts to build up over time, right? That's the type of thing you have to be aware of at these points. That is a weekly divergence here. But that's turned up right now. It rejected the cross down. That could just keep going. That's why we're paying attention to the shorter time frames. 30-minute pullback would be nice. Actually, a 2-hour pullback would be nice. 2-hour pullback would be great. Get down to like 29.21 and then start to turn up. Bitcoin giving it up a little bit here. See if that can curl back down on the 2-hour. Key thing with Bitcoin, never curled up on the 4-hour. 50% crash and buy in slowly is what we're saying here. Okay, Sofi. Over at Sofi, a couple people talking about this one. Potential for some stuff down here. Now, on the 2 hour, I really liked this signal right here. Crossed up, went positive, phenomenal. Then you get a slightly higher or lower high. Crosses down, goes negative, really close to negative territory. Okay, bad things. Now you cross up, you get the higher low. Awesome. Go to the upside, see if the daily can curl up. Daily can curl up here. Positive things can happen. Maybe you run into trouble at the 200 or the Bollinger Band, but for the most part, daily curls up, positive things can happen. When you're gone. Bears right now. Emo kids. The market's totally going down. Calls. Yeah, this is very sideways movement. If this 2 hour crosses down, that's not a good sign. This is not a good sign for MSTR. This is not a good sign. 2 hour curls down here, that can be very, very bad. Because you're breaking through this, you can head probably even down to like $100, like maybe something like 112. So there's no real turnaround. What you're looking for to get that upside is this happens, then you do that. That's going to be a better signal. SPY now down 0.18. Dollar coming off from that though. 2 hour hasn't crossed. I think 2 hour pullback looks the most likely. I know breath is gone. Yeah, so MSTR looking like 2 hour could curl over. That'd be bad. So just be careful with it, Robert. If you had too much risk in that, if you had a lot of money in that, make sure to pay attention. Make sure to manage that risk if you need to. You think it's still bear market behavior? It could be. And this could be some kind of squeeze, right? It's still a squeeze, but this could be a bear market, the beginning of a bear market. It could. But in order for this to really confirm itself as a bear market, genuinely, then I would say it does not make a divergence like this. It more so just goes like, that would be more bear market-like in my opinion. I'm not seeing 30-minute divergence in the upside. Usually in a bear market, you always see the momentum signals. But I agree with you, Ignacio. I think the worst piece of data is going to be unemployment. And the bad part about unemployment, by the way, since we just saw that tick up and that caused some trouble, right? The worst part about unemployment going up is this is it going up in the beginning. You guys know that it scales up very slowly in the beginning. That's a slow tick up, 4.3. Just wait till next time. Wait till the next report. Wait till the next unemployment report. And next unemployment report, you could see that thing at 5. I wouldn't really say cup and handle for the SPY and the Qs. I'd more so look for the head and shoulders, right? We're coming up into a very important point. All right, left head, right shoulder. We talked about this like at the beginning of this week. Retail sales real are bad adjusted for inflation. Well, retail sales at 1% is still very, very inflationary. That's why the Fed is in a tough spot and everyone's thinking they have to cut They might not be able to, because if retail sales is still seeing those kinds of numbers, then my goodness. Fuck what you think you know. Just like, oh, that's just to hear questions that I promise you don't want to know. We'd like to see the dollar pop harder than that. Yeah, which ticker do you like? Do you like gold? Are you doing futures? Don't you do gold futures? I don't like the look of the 2 hour right away, but I like 4 hours on these. So 4 hour, you have triple divergence. 4 hour triple divergence for gold. Gold can see a drop off, which also adds up to this. Sometimes when you see the dollar pop, you see gold come down dramatically. So if people are going to run to cash for some reason, gold is kind of showing that if this 4 hour divergence can confirm. I don't like this look. I don't like this look because you're ascending and you're getting tighter, right? We're ascending like this and we're getting tighter, all right? We're ascending like this and we're getting tighter. Can you head higher? Yes, you're curled up on the MACD. That means positive things, but if that rolls over, you really want to pay attention. This could be a fake out, right? Everyone probably saying, cup, handle, oh, we're gonna go, this is the measured move, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna go like this, and we're gonna go way up there. We can, that's what you would see. You see this curl up, so everything's still okay. But is this just going to cross back down? That's what I'd really watch out for. And maybe the hint of that is if just the 2 hour curls down right here, you have to treat it like it's bad. 2 hour curls down, bad. If it curls back up and it remains in this, that'd be a good sign. But for now, boom. Boom. Not a good look, Mark. Right? It just looks like weakening in momentum. It still looks strong, but it has the potential to have weakness. It has the potential to do reverse around the trend. Hasn't given you the signal yet, though. ASTS. Yeah, some big options things here. These are just massive moves, though, and that's with earnings. So earnings is a 50-50 flip. So you're going to see a bunch of option stuff with a 50-50 flip. But now you've seen the daily just keep making these divergences. Eventually it will pull back on a daily scale, and you might even end up down towards like $6 again. So I'm not going to get excited and get into anything. Now, if I was looking to get into this, I'd be looking for the 2 hour pullbacks, right? Looking for that 2 hour to pull back. Give me that upward signal again. Got to pay attention if the dollar starts to turn down. All right. Will you drop me out? 2 hour for Tesla has not curled down yet, but if it does, you can see how that would be bad, right? And the daily has not crossed up yet. So if that 2 hour crosses down, that's going to be bad. So if you want this to remain bullish, you don't want that 2 hour to cross. You want a 30-minute small pullback. You want the 30-minute to do some stuff here. Right now, it's not even saying pullback, so everything is good. But if this does pull back, you want that to be brief, and just do that really quick. All right, guys, it's 10:05. I did have to hop off at 10. I tried to just extend that just tiny bit because people were still asking questions, but I do have to hop off, and I'm sorry about that. I'm going to try to come back later today, but I do have to see my niece and nephew right at the close, so I might not be able to today. But I just want to say thank you so much for being here. The courses, they're still 90% off. Please, if you're interested in learning about how to trade in these markets, learning how to trade around these weekly ranges, grab that course down in the description. Now, obviously, most of you guys, if you already know a lot about this stuff, dedicate some time, have some fun, go out with family, do all that kind of thing. It's 11, it's 10 where I'm at. But I really do appreciate you guys. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for liking. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the donations. You guys are fantastic. I wish you nothing but luck with the rest of your day. I'm going to try to come back in a little bit. If I'm not able to, just know I'm spending time with the with my niece and nephew today. Right at the close, I'm gonna be hanging out with them. So we're gonna maybe charge the Oculus, play some Beat Saber. Love you guys. Have a great day. I'll see you guys this weekend on some YouTube videos. All right, peace. I need to start throwing that thing up so people know I'm gone. So I'm gonna start throwing that thing up for when I'm doing breaks and stuff like that.